Alright, so I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. If you were on the previous page and you looked at the notes, it talks about how both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. So the top and the bottom side are parallel to each other, and then these two sides are, well, these two sides over here are parallel to each other as well. And then it tells us that they're also congruent. So not only are these opposite sides parallel, but they're also congruent, which means that they're the same. Okay, so we have two sets of opposite sides that are parallel and congruent. Same thing for the angles. Okay, so opposite angles are congruent. So like angle P and angle R are going to be congruent, and then angle Q and angle S are going to be congruent. All right, and then it tells us that consecutive angles are supplementary. Supplementary means they add up to 180. Consecutive means that they're next to each other. So angle P and angle Q are next to each other, so they add up to 180. Angle P and angle S are next to each other, so they add up to 180. Okay, same thing with all the angles that are next to each other. Since it's a quadrilateral, it has 4 sides, meaning that the interior angles all add up to 360 degrees. So if it were to give you 3 angles, then you should be able to find the 4th by using that. They all add up to 360. And then the diagonals, it says that they bisect each other. That means that they split perfectly in half. So from P to T is the same length as T to R. And then the same thing the other way. From Q to T is the same length as T to S. Okay, so those are some special quadrilateral properties. So then when we start to look at our problems here for the notes, it says, complete each statement about the parallelogram. So it says that line segment DG is parallel to what line segment? So DG's here, so opposite sides are parallel and congruent, so the first one would be EF. So here you would just put EF when you type. And then this one, line segment DE, and this little symbol is congruent, so it's asking which line segment is congruent to DE. So again, opposite sides are parallel and congruent, so that would be GF. And then GH is congruent to, okay, so GH is that bisector piece. So from G to H is congruent to H to E. Okay, so that's that top part. And then the angles, angle DEF, we start at D, we go to E, and then down to F. So we're talking about this angle here. And it's asking which angle is congruent to that one. And like we just talked about in that top slide, opposite angles are congruent. So if we're talking about E, then the angle that we're talking about would be G. And then EFG, this angle right here, is supplementary to. Supplementary means adds up to 180. On the previous page we said that consecutive angles are supplementary. So for this one you could either put angle E or angle G, because those are the ones that are next to angle F. Okay? And then the last one, triangle DGE, is congruent to. So we have triangle DGE. Okay, so we have to find the triangle that's going to match DGE. So we know that DG is congruent to EF. So we're going to have to say EFD, because it's the exact opposite of DGE. Okay, so EFD would be that triangle that's congruent. And then down below,